Today we're taking a look at the Denver Nuggets vs Portland Trail Blazers match, which is happening on Thursday, June 3, 2021, and giving you my betting tips and predictions in general on this game. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. And if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours and hours of your time searching the internet for some fake betting predictions and losing your money because of it. Join High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advices instantly. After losing to the eventual NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers in the Western Conference Finals last season, the Denver Nuggets entered the season with high expectations. The Denver Nuggets finished the regular season with a 47-25 record, tied for the 5th best record in the NBA, and good for the number 3 seed in the Western Conference playoffs. Maybe we are so wrapped up in the Lillard phenomenon that we aren't giving due respect to the Nuggets. They are getting quality minutes from their backcourt with Jamal Murray out for the season. It's going to be tough for Portland to win this series if the trio of Rivers, Facundo Campazzo and Monty Morris can keep it going. It helps that the Trail Blazers are one of the worst defensive teams in the league. Lillard has to be a scoring machine because they can't stop the bleeding on the other end of the floor. Unfortunately for Portland, the Nuggets also boast a top 10 scoring offense with the leading candidate for MVP, Jokic, on the court. As long as they avoid silly mistakes, they have a great chance of closing the curtains on the Trail Blazers in Game 6. Denver's hopes to return to the conference finals seemed to take a huge blow when Jamal Murray went down for the season on April 12, with an ACL injury. After Murray went down, the Nuggets maintained a high level of play, winning 13 of their last 18 regular season games, and now are 1 win away from advancing to the second round. The Portland Trail Blazers showed improvement after going 35-39 last season and losing in the first round of the playoffs to the Lakers in 5 games. This season, the Blazers went 42-30 and ended up with the number 7 seed in the conference. McCollum has to be more consistent as a playmaker in those moments. There was a point in the season when he actually looked to be turning a corner, but the same old McCollum is beginning to surface in the playoffs. The low percentage shooting is making it where he's barely impactful on the floor offensively. It isn't easy getting back up to play after blowing a game like the Trail Blazers did on Tuesday night. But Damian Lillard is built different, and he clearly isn't going to get discouraged by the outcome of that game. He's going to show up and do what he does best, and I'm expecting him to have more help down the stretch this time around. The degree of difficulty on which he hits some of those shots is godlike. McCollum said of Lillard's performance after the game, via ESPN's Royce Young, to be able to create space and shoot from so far out contested time after time. It's a shame we wasted one of the all-time performances by not being more supportive for him. Being back at the Moda Center will propel the Trail Blazers to push the series to 7 games. CJ McCollum is a really good player, and he obviously hasn't played up to expectations in this series. You could see it plastered all over his face after the game. The Trail Blazers will rally around Lillard after that performance for at least one more game. McCollum and company now have to put those words into action. The Trail Blazers are obviously atrocious defensively, with teams averaging 114.7 points per game against them this season. But they can offset some of those struggles by avoiding the sort of costly, self-inflicted wounds that hurt them in Game 5. Yes, guys other than Lillard have to knock down shots, but more importantly, the Trail Blazers have to play smarter down the stretch. Denver has averaged 119.8 PPG throughout the first 5 games of the series, while shooting 46.4% from the floor and 40% from 3-point range. There was a point in Tuesday night's game when Damian Lillard finally missed a three-pointer, and Nuggets guard Austin Rivers looked to the heavens, clasped his hands together, and actually thanked God. Kevin Durant called Lillard's performance a spiritual experience. It was spiritual all right for Rivers and the Nuggets. MVP candidate Nikola Jokic, who averaged 26.4 points and 10.8 rebounds during the regular season, has also led the way in the playoffs with 32.4 points and 11 rebounds per game. Michael Porter Jr. is second on the team with 17.4 points and 7 rebounds per contest. The Nuggets might not have been as bad defensively as the Trail Blazers, but they're also giving up buckets at an alarming rate, hence the 147-140 shootout that just took place at Mile High. Portland will strike again, but this time, they'll close it out with a victory. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Portland Trail Blazers -5. The Denver Nuggets, after a terrible offensive game in Game 4, brought the Thunder Tuesday night in Denver as they scored a 147-140 double overtime win over the Blazers to take a 3-2 series lead. The Nuggets led in both overtimes, only to have Damian Lillard single-handedly bring the Blazers back and extend the game. More on that later. The whole Denver problem has been a lack of firepower compared to Portland. But if Porter plays like he did in Game 5, and like he did the final month of the season after Murray went out like the third best player on the court, Denver is in great position. The Nuggets also need that quartet of guards to keep hitting shots, because Portland has little choice but to try to force those guys to beat them. Right now those 4 guards have hit 38 threes so far this series. That's 7.6 makes per game at a 42.7% clip. It's not sustainable shooting or these guys would be playing bigger minutes, but Portland is giving them clean looks and Jokic is hitting his shooters in rhythm. Remember, 7.6 is both a lot and not that much. Denver just needs these guards to hit about 2 threes a quarter to stay at this pace. If they do that and Jokic and Porter show up, Denver will be in great shape. If the guards can't hit shots or Porter goes missing again, it could be all on the MVP. But in the second overtime, the Nuggets were finally able to hold their lead. The game was tied at 140 with about 3 minutes left, but then the Nuggets scored the last 7 points to win. Nikola Jokic led the Nuggets with 38 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. Monte Morris stepped up with 28 points off the bench while Michael Porter added 26 points and 12 rebounds. Austin Rivers added 18 points while Aaron Gordon had 14 points and 10 rebounds. It's not hyperbole to say that Damian Lillard had a game for the ages in Tuesday's 147-140 Game 5 loss. He had a ridiculous 55 points with 6 rebounds and 10 assists with 12 three-pointers. But it wasn't just the total of points Lillard had, it was when they came. First, he had a three-pointer with 3 seconds left in regulation to send it to overtime. Still, I like Portland coming into this series because they had more firepower than the Nuggets, and that is still clearly the case. Even as awesome as Jokic is, he can't put up that sort of scoring night. And while Denver's guards are hitting shots right now, you'd clearly rather have CJ McCollum, Norman Powell, Carmelo Anthony, and Anthony Simons taking those shots. My second betting advice for that game is to pick over 227.5. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.